It's another delicious day here in the Let's Make Food from Food Kitchen, and today I'm making a home favorite, peanut butter cookies.
Yay!
Somebody's excited. It's me, I'm excited. Okay, so I have some steps and things to do here. First, let's talk about the peanut butter. This is my homemade peanut butter, made right here in the Let's Make Food from Food Kitchen. I will put the link down below to that recipe. I also forgot to get salt out, so I'll be getting salt out at some point. The first thing I need to do is coarse grind some peanuts, just to give my cookies a little bit of texture. That looks good. So I'll just put these in a little container. Actually, I can just put them right back in my measuring cup, can't I? Okay. Maybe. Okay, there. It's kind of messy, but there we are. My oven is currently preheating to 350 degrees, so if you're making cookies along with me, go ahead and get that step started. Okay, next I want to take my flour and my baking powder and give it a whisk. And if you're not using pre-sifted flour, sift your flour. Here we go. Okay, now I can just set this aside. Now, I want to take my butter, which is supposed to be room temperature, not quite melted. Mine got a little too far. So I want to put that in my bowl of my stand mixer, and I'm going to cream together the butter and the sugars. If you remember, take your egg out ahead of time too, so that your egg is also room temperature. That helps keep your baking time even if your ingredients are all room temperature. Okay. So now I have a half a cup, it's lightly packed brown sugar, 1/2 cup of cane sugar. And I'm gonna put this down and put it on a low, and I'm just creaming together the butter and the sugar. So while that's working, I'll go ahead and make some space and clean up just a tiny bit. Okay, so let me show you the consistency for our creamed butter and sugar. This is what it should look like. It'll still be a little grainy because it hasn't dissolved yet, but that's what you're looking for. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and sprinkle my salt in there. That's a 1/2 teaspoon. That was kosher salt. You can use pink salt, Himalayan pink salt. Try to use one that doesn't have caking agents. I need 1 cup. This is gonna be most of my peanut butter. I'm just gonna make my daughter sad. So I got 1 cup out of this jar. That means there's none left over. Sad. But that's gonna make somebody happy because now Anastasia can lick the jar.
Yay!
Yeah, hold on a sec. Now I'm going to put in some peanut butter, about 1/2 of it. What if she already licked that spatula? Because now I need it. I'll have to get a clean one. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and mix in some of it. Grabbed a clean spatula that she has not licked. And I'm gonna go ahead and start putting some in here. Okay, I'm gonna lift this back up so that I can put the rest of it in there. All right, we're gonna give that a mix. Then comes my vanilla extract and my egg. It's basically room temperature. There we go. We'll let that go for just a minute. Okay, and now I'm just gonna start slowly adding in some flour. So maybe 1/4 of it at a time. And I'll put those peanuts in last. I'm also going to need a spoon and a fork because peanut butter cookies aren't peanut butter cookies unless you do the thing, right? Okay, add a little bit more. And lastly, I'm going to add my little bits of peanut butter. Okay, and that should be good to unlock it. Now, the next thing we need to do is make our dough balls. So this is where you're gonna get your hands dirty. Deliciously dirty. So we've got baking sheets lined with parchment paper, and I'm going to ball it up into 1-inch balls and press it down. So let's get started. If you want to be precise about your measurements, you can use a spoon, you can use a tablespoon. I think that's what I'll do, is I'll use a rounded tablespoon. I will just continue this process until I have enough on here to push them down and then bake them. You don't want them too close together because they will, oops, I just threw some stuff at me. They will bake into each other because they will spread a little. Okay, now I'm going to try and press these down without them crumbling apart, which they may do some. Okay. These are very buttery cookies. Butter, peanut butter, buttery. I cracked myself up too much. Okay, these aren't the most beautiful looking right now. I'm gonna pop them in the oven about 10 minutes. They're not gonna completely cook all the way through. They will carry over cook. They will be very, very soft for quite a while. So don't try to transfer them to a cooling rack right away. You're gonna wanna wait until they're mostly cool before you move them. Cookies are done. It smells delicious in here. Just a quick reminder, don't pull these off the pan until they're almost completely cool. It's why we use the parchment paper. This will crumble. It'll be so soft. It won't be, it'll come apart. Trust me. Okay. So are we ready to see how these did? They should be soft. Oh, look at that. That's beautiful. Oh, that smells amazing. So good, and I'm glad I put the little chunks of peanuts in there to give it a little extra texture. These are delicious. That homemade peanut butter made a difference. Beautiful. Thanks for joining me here today in the Let's Make Food from Food Kitchen. From my kitchen to yours, cheers.
That's one boy puppy.